Hello guys, and welcome to yet another episode of this walkthrough of bonsai in this balcony. It is midsummer here in Denmark. We have actually a heat wave. It's the third day with temperatures rising to 30 degrees Celsius. So it's pretty hot in here. But it's so hot actually that I have to use a hat so I don't get burned by the sun. So let's just jump to it. So there have been some changes since the last episode in spring. I have brought some new material into the balcony. As you can see, this Pinus sylvestris is just bought from a nursery plant material. So I just recently repotted it into this training pot. Another pre-bonsai material I have bought recently is this one. I'm not sure which kind of tree it is, but I bought it from Morten Albeck. And he has been working on it for many years, but for the first time he sold a little bit, and I went to his place and I bought this one. I have some interesting future ahead with this one, but I will definitely work so that it can be much more compact and not so high. So the main goal of producing these videos is actually to show you a kind of an experiment I have been working on for the last 4 or 5 years, and it is to see if it is possible to have pretty good bonsai material, that mostly pre-bonsai material, to thrive and evolve in this balcony, and all of the challenges that involves to have this kind of trees in a balcony. So first and foremost, the most important thing I think is to give some kind of shade. Otherwise they will dry out very fast, especially Shohin bonsai. I have carefully selected the spots of the trees so that it can maximizes the growth of the trees regarding of the kind of the trees I have. When I went to Morten Albeck's place, I talked a lot about bonsai, of course, but I also learn new things just by talking with him. and I think the most important thing I learned that day it was that to give backbudding on trees, you have to let them grow, and at some point they will come with new shoots in the inside part of the branch. So then you can cut off the tips and let those inside the branch grow, and you have backbudding, and you have a backbudding that is reliable. But I am also just a kind of a beginner in this world of bonsai. I've just practiced bonsai for 5 years as an amateur. So if you take all the time and put it together, it's much more or less than 5 years, of course, because I am just doing bonsai when I have time to do that. So it is just I don't know 2 years or something like that. Here we have a plant material that I bought from a plant nursery here near Molio. It's a Picea apis, spruce bonsai, if you will, but it really was just pen in a pot, sort of, with a big round ball of leaves. But I have worked with it for the last 4 years, wiring it, dewiring it, and this is a little bit of the result about it. But I'm pretty glad that I managed to get it more compact, this tree, and this is a good thing to work further with it. I really like spruce bonsai. Yeah, I guess I have to work a little bit with the trunk, but we'll see. This little tree is Japanese white pine that I bought from Leather Bonsai in Holland. It's recovering from the last repotting last year because it was pretty root bound in the previous pot, and now it's recovering. I will leave it 1 year more until I will be able to work with it. This other tree, an olive tree, is also from Leather Bonsai in Holland. It's a good material to work with. It has to be repotted in summer. The olive trees, I learned that. So I did it last year into this pot, and it thrives. It will give olives in September, October, and it will be the dark ones. It's really funny to see. This Korean hornbeam here, you can't see the structure so much because it's summer and it's full of leaves, but this is a pretty good material to work with. It's I have had this one for 4 years now, and I'm pretty glad about this one. I will make it more compact through the years to come and make it fit in a small pot, working with the roots. As I mentioned before, this is a tree that I've got from Morten Albeck this summer. Yes, and the slab as well, made by himself. This is another hornbeam from Asia. I don't know where it is from, but you cannot see the structure as well because it is full of leaves. But I'm pretty glad about this shohin as well. Here we have a group of large bonsai. It had a pretty hard time when I was on holidays due to a period of drought. But it is recovering pretty well. It's a strong tree, kind of a tree, so it will recover fully in the months to come. I will leave it this way, and we'll see what kind of forest I will do with it in the coming years. These are cuttings from juniper bonsai that I have. They put roots pretty well. I'm really glad about this. They are worth a lot of money because they are itoikawa cuttings that have roots. So it's pretty good to have them. Also for making bonsai about them. Here we have yamadori, birch tree from the middle of Copenhagen. Yeah, it has branches all over the place, but it is really adapting into this new pot. This is as well an oak, as well yamadori from this area around here in Moleo. It is very healthy, and I will be able to work with it this winter, I guess. Also from making new, like these kind of shoots here, not this one but others further up in the trunk. I will make some of these in order to make a compact crown with the years to come. But I really enjoy making bonsai like this way from yamadori. This one I bought it from one friend of mine, Jonas Lind, here in Denmark. It's a Texas Bacata. It is thriving very, very well in this pot. I repotted it I repotted it this spring, and it's very, very good now. I will as well not touch it until next year, but I will be able already now to cut the the tips, so that the back budding will get stronger and stronger, so that it can make a compact crown in the future. This I bought it as a pre-bonsai from a dealer here that got it from Japan. Shimpaku Itoikawa. I started styling this tree in 2018 in a workshop with Yannick Kieken, bonsai professional from Belgium, Yama Bonsai, and we made it like a semi-cascade, but the lower branch, it is very hard to maintain, so it died off. I will be able to work with it this fall, I think, to rewire it and make it a new shape. This one I got it from a friend of mine here in Denmark, Søren Maya. Is a Shinpakuitogawa as well. Shohin. It has recovered pretty well since the last time, since last year, and I will be able as well to work with it this fall. We have a Pinus Mugo here, thriving as well. It has had a really hard time last year because it has been overworked. It's pretty hard for bonsai to overwork them, and I learned not to do that. Down here we have a yamadori tree as well, an European hornbeam that has put fairly amount of roots and growth, as you can see. It's very nice. It's very nice to see how much growth it put out. But as I mentioned in the last video, I will work with the nebari and make a new nebari about it. Not this time, but next spring. Here we have a juniper, Juniperus procumbens. It will be a semi-cascade. I will make that with it in a new pot that I have in the workshop. Here I have a hinoki cypress that I will work with it this fall as well. Not so much work in this summer, but it will be in this fall. I will make most of my stylings. Here we have a group of birch trees I showed you last video. They are doing well this summer, but as the other forests that I have, it just had a hard time last holidays because it was very hot and dry, and it experienced a little bit of dieback, but it's recovering pretty well. Here I have another large tree that I bought as a pre-bonsai from one of my friends here in Denmark, Bartek Lusik. It's thriving pretty well in this small pot. 2 springs ago I repotted it, and yeah, it was a little bit disappointing because I had to cut a really pretty big part of the main trunk. That is a taproot that I had cut off. It was 15 centimeters thick, but it took it very well, and then it put a fairly amount of new roots, and this is the result now. Down here I have an Ace campestre, yamadori as well, little trunk, but I'm very glad about the compactness that I already have now. Yes. And here I have a good pine tree that I bought from Yannick in the last trophy 2020, that he bought it from another one per adult, I think, from Norway, that got it from Yamadori. And I will be working with this one in the fall at a workshop with Peter Warren. I'm really looking forward to it. But this will be one of the trees I will be working on with him. And then another one I will bring. Another one is this one, not to work with it, but to show him the new result after the new restyling. The other tree I will bring with the workshop with Peter Warren will be this Shinpakuitogawa that I had last workshop I had with him, and I will show him the new styling that I will be working on, because it's 2 days with him. It will be very funny, and I will learn a lot, I think, and I hope. This one I show you. It was kind of a lucky thing, because it was bought home from my wife. She took it from a workplace. It was dying out in the sun. The roots were out in the air, and I just chopped it off, chopped some roots, put it in this pot, and this is the result 2.5 months after that day. Pretty glad to see that. And this is one of the most funniest thing I see in bonsai. This is a cutting I made from a shimpaku juniper that I have. I show him one. The lower part of this tree at a workshop with Yannick. This is thriving pretty well, and I will make a Shohin bonsai out of it in the coming years. This is a Chinese quince. I got it from one of my friends here at the Bonsai Museum in Denmark, actually, as a gift. It's thriving as well in this pot. Okay, then I have this azalea that I bought from a dealer here in Denmark as a pre-bonsai, and it's thriving in its new pot. It had a little hard time in the repotting, but because the lower branch was dying, but I managed to make it survive, and this is now the result. It makes flowers every year, and it's pretty nice to see. I will be working with it probably, if I have time, this fall, but maybe later. I don't know. This little tree is a pretty nice one. I managed to make it fit in this pot. It is in the Japanese pot. It is a very nice little tree. I love very much to work with and to have. Then I have this Japanese shinpakuitogawa, which is very nice. I managed to give it a new styling. I made a yin in the lower part. It's pretty nice. This one it will be nice to work with it in the coming years. But now I am confident that it is thriving and it is very healthy at this point. I apologize a little bit about the wind. It just came up all of the sudden, but this is the way it is in summer, also here in Denmark. But what do I do here in summer in order to make my trees go through safely through the summer? It depends on the weather, of course, but here in Denmark we don't have these very hot days, so the weather in summer in Denmark is very unstable, I would say. Some days we have very strong wind, other days we don't have wind at all, and high temperatures, high sun, with high temperatures and high sun, and no wind. And the next day it's like fall, actually, with not so hot. Actually, in the night, it can be a little bit cold, 14 degrees, 13 degrees, and in the day, 24, 25 degrees. It's the normal here. But these days we have a heat wave, and yeah. So what do I do in these cases? I put, actually, if you have seen previously, small bags where the bonsai are on with stone and moss that keeps the moisture from evaporating so fast. Another thing I do when it is very hot, I just cover the pots with blankets, and this prevents the evaporation from getting too fast, especially in shohin bonsai. But I do this when it is very hot, like these days. But really, the wind is not a challenge, though. It is not a challenge compared to other seasons of the year. It is no wind. There's no wind in summer compared to the other seasons. So we enjoy not having that much wind. As you can see, the balcony is oriented in the northeast. That means that I have full sun when there are no clouds, of course, half of the day. And this is a very important thing in bonsai, because they also have to have some shade in the summer, not to get too hot in the pots, and not so much time. So this is very lucky that this balcony is oriented this way. Of fertilizers, I have these from Yama Bonsai, these tea bags, but I also have tamahi and other things that I can use also. I'm feeding my trees very well in summer. It is very important. Otherwise, they will just die over time, because they will just eat themselves up, because they don't have any room for the roots to escape. So this is the reason why we use fertilizer in bonsai. So yes, that's the way I get my trees through the summer.